Hey guys, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup number 2, continuing now with Group Stage C, going to be a match between Catharsis and Agent B8factor. Gotta say, unfortunately, I have spoiled this one for myself too, because I was in this group, so I was really concerned with like who was going to win and all that stuff. I'll just say, it's definitely expected Catharsis ought to take a 2-0 here. He's like 4th, 5th best in the world or something, you know what I mean? So, he's definitely the favorite player here, I'll say that. B8factor generally proving a little bit slippery, but I mean, you're gonna have to be pretty slippery to get away from this guy. The beast from the Netherlands himself, Catharsis. Playing as the Conef, as usual. We know he plays basically Conef and Soban, those are his mains. B8factor playing random, seems like he does that every time too, which is pretty cool. He's gonna roll Conef too, so we're gonna have a KVK. Of course, it's not vanilla, so I don't expect to see the ridiculous KVK shenanigans that we tend to see there, but it should still be a pretty fun match. What I mean by that is, in KVK and vanilla, it's like, so, like, blast drones, man. They just, because they can come in, you know, just like bomb out the eco entirely. This is not really as doable in patch. You can still pull it off, but it's a lot harder. In fact, looks like maybe Catharsis is going to try for it. We have a second base round on the way already. Then again, he did this against me, for instance, actually same map too. And really it just resulted in artifact pressure, which led to him winning the game, so not necessarily indicative of blast drone shenaniganry, but I kind of hope it is because I want to see it. I always want to see it. B8factor going to be making some sand skimmers. He pushes out across the map here. It's also worth noting, Catharsis has a lot more experience with the game, but this is patch, which is pretty new to him, relatively speaking. He still obviously has a lot of experience with DOK, but that does kind of take the edge away from that, like in that regard, just a little bit, in the sense that he's not, it's not like if this was vanilla, let's say, Catharsis, you know, like I said, like 4th or 5th best in the world against some guy who's pretty good from what I've seen, but like, holy, you know, that's gonna be a really hard match, whereas in patch he hasn't really played it too much, so there's a little bit less of a differential there, I suppose. Armor 1 coming out on the sand skimmers actually for B8factor. Looks like he really wants to take a fight here. You notice he did that in my match with him as well. I think in both games, although I'm not sure. Catharsis is going for refiner mode. He's going to come back, play eco. He has gotten control of the field here. I'm not entirely sure how. I mean, the blast drone hit was okay. Like, it took out one sand skimmer. Blast drones now cost 100 in patch, by the way, so that is an even trade. Like, we haven't really, I don't know, B8factor's got the armor. He's just kind of giving up control of the field here. He's basically allowing his opponent to do this, and you're not really going to want to do that. Double extract comes down. B8factor had seen it, by the way. He knew about that. So that's just going to mean, basically, 2 artifacts getting extracted for opponent. Ooh, you got to be careful here, though. Ooh, that was close. Gotta love the quadratic fall-off there, right? Or no, I think it's linear, but there's fall-off in general. In vanilla, there's no fall-off on blast drones, which is a little wonky. What I'm saying is all those sand skimmers would have died there in vanilla. Anyway, Railgun Fab going to be the choice for Catharsis, by the way. This base sprinter here taking a little bit of fire. Blaster trying to get in there. He actually does get a fairly good hit, takes out one of the sand skimmers, damages another one, which will be capitalized on by Catharsis, although it is a 1-for-1 trade, of course, because there's a lot of sand skimmers here now. More blast drones still being produced. I feel like this artifact will extract. Catharsis just has a lot of tools to kind of distract his opponent and get that out. Whoa! Dunking on that sand skimmer. Beautiful, man. Anyway, he's also got a lot of artifact power coming up now. Refiner mode is done. He's kind of been focused on blast drones and army and stuff. He hasn't really been able to fill up this base just yet. But yeah, like I said, that artifact is going to extract. This is I don't know, this is just kind of a difficult push for B8factor because his opponent has got refiner mode, so he can flip and flop as much as he needs. He's going to have to get a lot of damage on the production cruiser to kill it. And that carrier with this much power is really going to be strong. Ooh. Yeah, I know what that means. That's also an issue. Although I think Catharsis should invest in maybe... Oh, he's fleet capped. Oh. That's another thing. In vanilla, blast drones actually don't cost fleet capacity, so you can make as many of them as you want, but... As you can see, he's not able to make any more blast drones here until his fleet cap goes up. But yeah, what I'm saying is he should probably make like a couple more blast drones before he tries this, but he is on the right side of the carrier as well. You want to be, of course, on the other side. Oh, and there's a hill there! Yeah, he's going to get in. That's going to hit for damage. I don't know how much damage, but it's going to. You don't want to power up the armor there. It's Catharsis. Getting missile ship fab, I think that's just in case. Here come the blast drones. But B8factor's on top of it, actually. So only one salvager getting go down. A bunch of damage on the base sprinter. And I think it just popped out a blast drone that also got killed there, which is kind of funny. Actually, a lot of damage coming out to the eco here from Catharsis, which is interesting. We saw this in the games with Me Too, where, you know, he does a surprising amount of damage here. With these armored up Sandspears. But they are getting killed, of course. You're gonna see some salvagers go down on the second as well, it looks like. I mean, Catharsis, I think, is just not really reacting to it. I'll have to pull these guys back, fill up the gaps here. Because then you're only defending 1 point, it's gonna be a lot easier for you. I'm not sure where this guy was headed. We're gonna see another artifact get picked up here. I'm not sure if it'll get scored, but B8factor returning the favor, gonna score one of his own. And it does kind of look like the KVK shenanigans that I was hoping for. A lot of blast drones. It's fun to see. It's 2 PC actually from B8factor, now that I look at it. No refinery mode. Looks like he wants to push off of this. Railfab is done. And he is producing there. And yeah, I don't know. Catharsis has got the artifacts, which is nice, but he doesn't have any answer for this army that's on the field. I wonder if maybe he's been over-investing into blast drones or something, but I can't really tell where his money's been going. In fact, Power Reserve 1 getting teched, which is kind of interesting to see. I don't know, he doesn't have any army on the field. I kind of worry for him, especially if this 2 PC hits and he's just not got anything back there. Heavy rails are starting to get produced too, that's a little dangerous. The Sandskimmer force is big, it's chunky, man. Like, you gotta give some respect to that. I don't know what Catharsis' game plan is exactly. Here comes a blessed drone. Just gonna suicide itself against the... Oh, tragically, not timed right to get the assault, the heavy railgun. I think that's actually what he was going for, although I doubt it would have killed it. I say that because Catharsis is very good. Like, I'm sure he saw that coming out, and that's why he ran up there. I don't expect he's the kind of guy who would just kind of like randomly throw a Sandskimmer in there. So he's taking power reserves apparently. He's got railgun fabrication, he hasn't made any though. He knows about this army on his doorstep. Okay, so now he's starting to make... Yeah, he's Q2 salvagers still though. I mean, that's just really ambitious. Like, this is potentially gonna go really... Oh, good hit there too by B8factor. This is potentially gonna go really bad for him. This could be a dead production cruiser right here. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, this carrier is not going to do that good of holding up all the bases here. B8factor not going to commit in there. I think he could have gotten it. Does he have damage upgrades? No, he doesn't. But still, I think he could have gotten that. But here comes the army that I'm really worried about, which is over here on the left with the 2 production cruisers. Looks like Sandskimmer's here going to get a little mauled. These Sandskimmer's in the wrong position. They want to screen the heavy railguns usually. Get the assault rails over there as well, because this is kind of... Or maybe take them on the backside so that when the carrier moves over, you can come in and try to smite at the eco. Smite? That's a good word. Oh, and look, he's going to double extract off the back of this too. This is suddenly looking pretty good for B8factor, though it's clear he's having trouble dealing with these missiles from the carrier. But Catharsis just can't shake the aggression, and I'm amazed by this. I mean, I feel like he just hasn't made any units or something. I'm not sure what he's going for. This doesn't seem like him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird plays. He's gonna move the carrier out now unsupported against a whole bunch of heavy railguns. Well, there's only one. But there could be more. I mean, that's a really risky play there. I guess he's just trusting with those missile systems that he's gonna do fine, but like, that's not something I would trust in. But he definitely wants to stop these artifacts. Here he is going to try it. You can just pop smoke in B8factor. He can just get in here. I mean, that's not actually a concern for him. But he's going to move the army over there to try and hold it. And yeah, Catharsis just relying so much on this carry, but it's so slow. The eco damage is going to be huge if B8factor just decides to click right there right now. Oh, and he has. Look at this. The carrier just can't get back there in time. I don't know what he's going to do about this. Oh, he moves back, He should have just pressed the advantage right there. He probably could have had it. Is he gonna dunk him? Oh, Catharsis, you're so good. That was a really good shot there. But yeah, look, you can see, I mean, these Sandskimmers here just completely unchecked. They can just drive in there and do whatever the heck they want, you know? Come on, commit in. You can do this! If he kills PCs here, this is going to be a really bad time. Killing sand skimmers first, I agree with this. Conf carrier, notoriously slow. Going to be limping its way over there, but... Limping? That would infer he's damaged. You get my idea. It's going to take him a long time to get over into position there. Focus fire not really coming out from either player here, which is, again, kind of interesting to see from Catharsis. I mean, I feel like he's normally the kind of guy who has pretty good micro in this regard. The assault rails are all here in position, not firing because of the wreck bulkheads there, which is kind of awkward, but here they are. They're at the production cruiser. I would say just target that production cruiser, kill him off. Artifact going to be denied here as well with Catharsis, I would have thought, although there's a chance he gets out here, actually. It's going to be close. The army from B8factor kind of derping around here. They definitely had a target and they didn't go for it, I feel. Yeah, I don't think that gets out, does it? Like, the thing is, Catharsis is one of the few players who will go for, like, a 2 base runner opener, and he makes it work. He actually can put on a lot of really good pressure with it, but he's just relying on carrier, basically. Like, he's got no standing army ever. I don't understand this play exactly, and I really don't feel like it's going to work for him. This is the game-winning artifact right here. There's a second one that can be picked up. You know how Conf double smoke can be. Although we didn't see it used last time, but still, I imagine it will be. And the carrier is just not fast enough to deal with this. And if he moves the carrier out there to deal with it, then suddenly his bases are completely exposed. And he just hasn't built any units. I don't know what he's going for. Taking damage, it's good because he's going to need to put damage out now. He's going to need to suicide all these sand skimmers, I think, if he wants to stop this, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Yeah, he's trying to push out, but the firepower here is just a little bit too much. A lot of skimmers. And B8factor can throw away this entire army if he can secure one of these artifacts. So I mean, this is completely fine for him. That guy's just like a couple meters away from the extraction, and Catharsis is going to lose game 1. I told you I had the result spoiled for me. You didn't think I meant this, did you? I baited you out. But this is so weird, you know, like... I was kind of surprised that B8factor had won a game here. Now I can see how it happened. It's just... strange. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's not the Catharsis I'm used to watching. Let's find out if he continues that way in game 2. I know. But you do not know. Unless you're Catharsis, then you probably know. Gonna be College Thief, it looks like. This map, by the way, gonna be Catharsis' pick. We know that because he's the lower seeding number. Move on to College Thief, which is gonna be B8factor's pick. Playing random again. We'll see what he picks. You never know. But we must wait while the game loads. Laden. Okay, here we go. Oh, I was like, he's Conf. No, that's Catharsis. He is Conf again. Look at that. Interesting. Normally, when people play random, what they always say is like, "Why am I rolling coalition every single game?" But in this case, B8factor played random against me twice and was Gaussian in both of them. And then he plays random against Catharsis twice and he's Conf in both of them. That's interesting to see. So, Catharsis, what do you need to do to win this game? Well, just play normal, I think. I mean, I'm not really sure what he was going for last game. I know he's got better unit control. I know he's got better, I don't know, just better strategies in general, I guess I would say. But then again, B8factor with this kind of sand skimmer armor mode is actually managing to do damage to ecos. Which is kind of surprising, and it's a little refreshing. We don't usually see sand skimmers actually managing to do any damage to the bases, but I guess when you get armor, they're able to do that. Even in, like, the early game. Uh-oh. What's this? The thing is, when you're playing as random, your opponent doesn't even know who you are. Kind of, leads them to be biased toward aggressive strategies, right? Like, okay, well, I don't even know what my opponent is, so rather than let him reveal it on me, let me just attack him. That's a strategy that could win me the game outright, but it'll also definitely give me that information about what faction he is. And I was wondering if Catharsis was going to go for that, but I guess not. I think Refiner Mode's about to be on the queue. I guess we'll see. He's only made... Oh no, it's the second production cruiser. Yeah, he's made one sand skimmer to pop out there, see who he is, comes back. But now the question has got to be, you see he's Conf. Don't you stick around and see if the base runner's at home? or try and see if a production cruiser pops out, and then you can basically guarantee it's a base runner retirement, because you never know where it's going to be. In this case, it's down here. It's definitely planning some nasty stuff. Although, same maybe can be said for Catharsis. He's producing a second one here. First one's already out in the field there. But blast drones going to reveal themselves, so they are known about. B8factor, oh no, he's going to get body blocked. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. I've mentioned this before, but of course if a blast drone is targeting a unit and it passes by it, boom, it'll go off. And also the other blast drones that are with it, chained up, kind of, they all explode together. So yeah, that's not really what you want to do with them, probably, so a little bit of a waste right there. Second production cruiser's coming out now. Catharsis is ready to pick a tech, but it's refinery mode, so he's going to go kind of aggressive on the eco, apparently. Tell me what you think in the comments here. Is it more lucrative for the Gaussian player to go refinery mode first, or to go 2 PC and then get refinery mode? And why are there 6 artifacts on? I just noticed that. Yeah, that's obviously not supposed to be like that. We'll see if it makes a difference in the game. If so, I'm gonna have to kind of do a thing. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything, but... Well, I always say the punishment for messing up in the tournament games is YouTube humiliation, so... I played a game with No Fun one time where we didn't have any artifacts on at all, and I was like, oh shoot. And I was like, we didn't actually pick up any artifacts in the game, like we didn't even go for it. Should we replay it? And he was like, yeah, we probably should, and I agreed. We replayed the game. It was funny. Refinery mode is finished here. Catharsis is not yet ready to boom, actually. His production cruiser is in the wrong place, hasn't made any salvagers. I think it's because he's worried about aggression. Which, I mean, I guess that's fair. He hasn't made anything, really, and he knows his opponent has got this big sandskimmer force, which is kind of giving me a little bit of a conniption, because I'm just worried about it. Smoke popped on the base runner, but it's fairly ineffective there. Yeah, okay, he does stop it. The thing about smoke, you know, is the base runner is moving forward, so between shots he's like exposed. So if your opponent is in front of you, it's not as effective as if he's behind you, which I think... Oh, what the... Oh, those are the blast drones. I didn't actually realize they were in the pack there. Anyway, I think that's a really cool thing. 9 HP on that guy. I think that's a cool thing about the smoke, because it means that if you're trying to chase your opponent into the extraction zone, very hard to kill him, but if you're trying to like body block him away from it, it's a lot easier. Which is good, because you never want Conif base runners to just extract through the entire army, but sometimes they can. B8factor's kind of found the window again. Does he have armor? He does, but he's going to back away. He kind of took the damage to get in there, and then he just left. Thing is, I think you should come through, and then if there is defense here, then you can come out through that side. And in that case, there was no defense. Probably could have picked off a couple of skimmers or something. It's going to be refiner mode from B8factor, something we've not seen before, I don't think, in any of his games. I'm not sure about that, but I don't think so. But I like that. He's got a second base fully saturated. He's actually going to be ahead of Catharsis and Eco if he just gets his production cruisers in line and keeps making salvagers, and he definitely has free reign to do that because he's got the bigger army on the field, so he's not under any kind of pressure. Hold up, is my microphone on? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. That's the wrong time to check that, clearly, but what you gonna do? But yeah, I think B8factor actually is ahead in Eco right now. Marginally. It was a little bit... Yeah, it's not as much as I expected, although if he's making salvagers still, he's gonna be up on 3 base before too long. And that's something I always like to see. It's a good sign of a very competent player that he values economy enough to really push it out in situations like this. But it looks like B8factor not taking it quite seriously enough. He should be just like triple producing salvagers, try to get that base filled up. Catharsis is going to get a little bit ahead in that regard. By the way, Catharsis, a really big macro player, right? Like, if you've ever seen him play Savant, it's like, where is he getting these units from? You know, they're just like spewing out onto the map. It's insane. And these games, he's like relying on his carrier. He did that in his games against me too, didn't he? Yeah, he did. I don't know, maybe he's like trying some different style because it's patch, but I think that like the patch is actually kind of designed to not encourage that type of play. And it's also not what we're used to seeing Catharsis do, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly what he's going for. Missile ship fab coming out from Catharsis, again, like we saw last game, that's just good insurance. If your opponent does go for air, you can switch over to that. Tech is the same cost, I think, as in vanilla, but the units themselves are cheaper. And better, too. I think they're a little bit underpowered in vanilla. Well, I've had a lot of success with missile ships. Maybe not. But they're a little bit faster, I think. And I think they have a little bit more range in patch. Which is good, because you always feel like with missile ships, your army is kind of restricted. You can't really expand out as much as you want to. BD here on the extraction, though. It's an interesting placement. Very symmetrical. He comes out there to scout a little bit. I know I was talking to Tom about this one time. Oh, BD gets sniped there. It's a little unfortunate. He had just popped out. Actually, they trade, it looks like. But I was talking about this with Tom one time. He was like, yeah, you know, early game I always make blast drones, but I'm doing it to scout. I don't actually want to try to get damage with them. Unless I'm going for like a little bit of cheese, you know. A little bit of cheese is a good thing in life, right? B8factor's army, by the way, a lot bigger right here. He could definitely push this fight. I'm hoping he does, but big thing I've seen from B8factor is he tends not to push the advantage when he's got it, which is a little unfortunate. Smoke popped here. It seems a little dramatic, although it is on pretty low health. But yeah, he uses these blast drones just to scout in the early game, because you can make them without taking production time on your production cruiser, and then also you don't have the scanner, I guess, with the base runner, so it kind of makes sense, you know, he still uses like a scouting unit. But he just kind of probes around for weaknesses, you know, looks at what tech I'm getting, stuff like that. He's not really trying to get damage in with the blast drone, which is interesting to see. In patch they cost less, but they also have longer build time, but I don't know, I think that kind of supports their idea of like a scouting tool. It's an interesting idea. B8factor, by the way, huge window right here. Again, Catharsis is playing this really loose, and I'm not sure why. The entire army could just pour through the pass. The Sandscreamers were here, and then they backed up. But if they just kind of like poured through this pass here, you could just be wiping the main base. That is a lot of assault railguns, and they are completely unchecked on the field. I take it back. There are heavy railguns over here, but I mean, Catharsis is playing these things unreal loose. Like, I don't know, it's such risky plays. I'm not sure exactly why he's doing that. B8factor gonna start getting some heavy rails as well. Needs to saturate the RUs over here. He's only got 2 salvagers on that third base, so especially in patch, you know, RUs are not so abundant. He's definitely gonna need. Yeah, he's gonna need something to help. You know, he's gonna need the salvagers. Okay, I don't know. I was trying to find some fancy way of saying it, but that's what I'm getting at. Again, though, entire armies on this side. Like, if B8factor's army could just come in through here, which they could have, right? You can see how they're retreating in that vector. If they just went out that way, boom, you know, take him out. I mean, you're killing a production cruiser there. Catharsis is not at all covering his flanks, and it just makes me feel very nervous. Honor Guard cruiser gonna be the tech choice for him. That's a cool one. That's a cool one. Definitely works against mass assault railguns, that's for sure. Some bad flanks could cause it to die to them, but I mean, usually, you know, you're going to be pretty secure from that particular unit. Also, he's unlocking his carrier here. That's worth noting. And B8factor is actually getting the anti-air first. I don't think he needs it. I mean, well, I know he doesn't need it. Oh, he's getting Honor Guard cruiser fabrication too. Look at that. But the thing about that is, you know, your opponent still has on rails. Well, you know, I guess it's true. He's only made like 4 of them. I guess it's kind of easy to suspect maybe he's going for like an air transition or something. Actually, Catharsis has the armor upgrades and B8factor doesn't, but he does win that fight with just a little bit of micro. Nice to see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what is this? Upgrade just finished on the Sandscreamers. That was very well timed. Yeah, so Catharsis is just gonna smash in here. There's nothing to defend. He knows the assault railguns are over on this side of the map. B8factor gonna be kind of scrambling here. I don't know what he's gonna do about that. That's actually a huge amount of damage. I didn't realize how many Sandscreamers were over there. 24 Sandscreamers. That's insane, actually. I had no idea that was coming out. B8factor gonna go for some counterplay. I like that idea, but this is gonna be serious damage. Catharsis a little bit lazy with it, but he is going to get the damage in, I'm sure. Down goes the heavy rail. Going for salvagers. I mean, you're gonna kill a production cruiser here. You definitely want to do that first. But look at this. Look at this. B8factor actually is returning the favor here. He's getting his carrier set up onto that second base location. Got a lot of power in it too. And he's got his production cruiser holding the main. So he actually is, you know, doing a pretty competent job of like defending here. Definitely needs to keep pushing out, but... Oh, a Blastron. I like that idea a lot. His production cruiser nearly got away. He actually maybe could have like just backed away, and then like if Catharsis didn't notice, he could have survived. That would have been funny. Assault railguns are now being checked by the heavies, so it looks like the damage is definitely going to be bigger on B8factor's side of the map. As we're not going to see a production cruiser loss here, I would doubt that pretty heavily. Second base still being camped here. B8factor was actually moving the carry out, but then he backed away. He should have kept it. Just keep moving out there. Power up the weapons, of course, as well. But yeah, you know, if you look at like the siege position, I guess you could say, these Sandskimmers here are blocking the second. Whoa! That was a lot of damage. Now that's a lot of damage! Whereas, you know, railguns here just blocking the third, so obviously 2 is more than 3. Or sorry, 2 is more than 1. You get what I mean. These assault railguns are going to get rinsed here. Took a little bit of time, but yeah, so they've done good damage, but not as good as on B8factor's side. He's got to replace that production cruiser. You can see him building it now. And then he's got to replace all the salvagers as well, so he's going to be behind for some time now. Catharsis, meanwhile, because he's not reproducing, production cruisers, he's going to get a second honor guard out on the field. And at this point, B8factor's army is looking really, really anorexic. You know, he was in this situation versus Catharsis last game, but what I noticed was that, B8factor never really would push in. He would never really commit to things. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like Catharsis is going to. You know, here he goes, and you can just kill off this production cruiser like easy. Yep, there you go. And so, yeah, it looks like Catharsis definitely with kind of the better understanding of like what to do in this type of scenario. Production cruiser goes down. Might as well stick around and get these heavies as well. Although the missile ship barrage is fairly good. He can kill missile ships too, can't he? Well, hold up. Guardian! What a freaking baller. One thing that's a little awkward is that B8factor is actually on match point, even though it doesn't look like it. Hold up, do missile ships just feed like tons of veterancy? Because I feel like these Sandskimmers are getting vetted up really fast. Honor Guard got a shot off, so Catharsis knows about it. He should be really wary about fighting into that position. Seems to want that missile ship, but I think he should just leave it alone. His army's better. He's got a couple heavies, which is more than his opponent has got. He's got 2 honor guards, 3. Dang, alright. And he's got this huge skimmer wall, which is obviously going to be pretty nice. That was a good cruise missile attempt there, didn't work. Catharsis now just pumping out heavy rails, triple producing those. B8factor has no economy to speak of. He's going to try to reset up on that third base location, but this is really dire. Honor Guard caught out of position by Sandskimmers. That should never happen. This guy was way too far forward in the front line. Kind of like Assault Railguns, he is a counter unit to Sandskimmers, and yet you can see he's going to get killed here. That's really rough, and we have got an Elder. Rokol. What a freaking baller, man. 200 meters to weapon range is pretty significant, actually. I mean, it doesn't usually matter because there's only one of them that's got the upgrade, but like, dang. That's crazy, man. I was gonna say Catharsis with the better carrier, but that's actually not true. It looks like, yeah, B8factor has more artifacts, so... Oh, Honor Guard gonna land a really brutal shot right there. There's no follow-up, though. I'm not sure if this really matters too much, but it was a good shot. Cruise Missile properly being used against the base front, although it is a miss right there, crucially. Oh, we lost a freaking Guardian. What a choke, dude. Yeah, base runner is gonna go down here. That's nice for B8factor, but this game I think is pretty much over at this point. Like, there's just no no recourse here. Catharsis doesn't even need to look for counterplay. He can just kind of smash right in there. I mean, he doesn't have that many heavy rails, but he's got enough. You can see he's giving a lot of respect to that kind of carrier, though, because of those missiles. But he's got some of his own, too. Oh! Those are some nice cruise missile shots there. Carry getting really low here, chased down by Conif missiles. We've all been in this situation before in 3v3s. It's not a fun time. That should be a dead carrier, I would imagine. Yep, there we go. Looks like it is the Honor Guard cruiser. Paul Rusky himself, dude. No way. It is Paul Rusky who's going to pick up the kill on B8factor. Gonna make the scoreline 1-1. I'd say B8factor should be very happy with that result. I mean, going up against one of the best, and he manages to 1-1 him. That's really good. And I gotta say, it's because of the really suspect play in Game 1. And Game 2, Catharsis was so vulnerable. He just, like, did not cover his flanks at all. I don't know about that. But he is gonna take the win. It will be enough. He will be advancing to the next match. We haven't finished casting the group stage. What am I talking about? Yeah, next he plays against No Fun. So that'll be a fun match to watch, I assume. So far with 2 ties, no wins. So it definitely wants to step it up against No Fun, or else there actually is a chance he could not make it to the upper bracket. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you next time.